Run It Studios is the home of the Run Radio podcast and runradio.net, a podcast and station about the relentless, resilient, and innovative types, inspiring strides in life, business, and welcome back to the Run Radio podcast. My name is Trina Wilcox, and my guest today is coming back to tell us about a great event that started last year and went so well. We're doing it again. Welcome, Anita King. Tell me all about the time, date, the who, what, when, wheres, and whys of this fantastic event.
Absolutely. So we are having our second annual DK Memorial Track Meet on Saturday, June 7th. So the first Saturday in June. It's at JFK at Parkview High School at 4 p.m. So it's an afternoon evening event. We had a phenomenal event last year. Last year was our first, and really have expanded it a little bit this year. We learned some lessons from from our first time,
Yeah.
but we're going big.
Good. Now it's a track meet for all levels of runners and participants, all ages. It's very inclusive and fun. What was the vibe that you picked up on most from last year?
Last year we started out, and our thought behind it was Devrin was not just a competitor. He loved to have fun. He loved adventure. He made us laugh. In in addition to all of the seriousness that he had in him. And so last year we had an inflatable costume race and a toddler run were our two fun runs. And the inflatable costume race we did at the end of the race and or at the end of the meet, and people were just falling over themselves literally and and um figuratively, and it was so much fun. So we obviously are doing that again this year. We're doing it in the middle so that hopefully, because we did have some people who left a little bit before that, I think that they missed out. And so we want to make sure that everybody gets to either participate or watch. Um, so that was a big hit last year. We added a donut run.
Oh,
So my one of Devrin's buddies from track, Eli, has been a phenomenal help in getting this off the ground and getting this coming to fruition. And he's a distance runner. Well,
mhm.
I don't have a lot of experience in that because Devin always did the sprints, and then the hurdles was his main event. And Eli and I were talking, we were like, what's something that we can add that's fun? And he was like, let's do a donut run where it's a mile race, but after each lap, everybody eats a donut. And I was like, okay, I could not make it past one, but let's do it. So we got a sponsor. Supreme Bakery is providing the donut. So we added that as a fun run. We also added, we're separating the the participants. You can choose to run as a fun, as a relaxed participant, or as a competitive participant. So each of our races will have at least two heats, so that those that want to go all out, that maybe they're looking for a PR because it is timed,
Mhm.
um, can do that and uh not that anyone gets embarrassed, because it is a fun time, but not put some of those dads to shame who are out there just looking for a good time.
Yeah. Well, let's go back a little bit for folks that don't know why this race came to be. Talk about Devon and why this is so important to you.
Absolutely. I could talk about Devon all day. Devon is my son. He was a track athlete, a basketball athlete, through SPS, graduated from Central in 2022. At Central High School, he broke the 300-meter hurdles record his junior year that had been on the board for 41 years.
Wow.
So that was one of his most proud accomplishments. He then broke it again his senior year twice. So he broke it at a meet, a regular meet, and then he broke it at the state meet. So his name is on the board at Central for the 300-meter hurdles. He got several scholarship offers from universities. We went and toured multiple, and he landed on Evangel. The coach there was so inviting, and Devin is wanted to be close to home. He was always by my side, and I think going at that point in his life, going somewhere where he couldn't come home every day if needed, just wasn't in his plan. So he was a track athlete at Evangel. And in March of 2023, right at the end of his freshman year at Evangel, he was killed in a motorcycle accident.
I know that is so hard, and I am so sorry. And it it probably feels fresh every time you talk about it or say it. But I'm so glad that you're keeping his memory alive with something that he wanted to do, his spirit of being fun and inclusive to other people. That's fantastic. That's such a cool way to, you know, celebrate a memory, celebrate a life.
It's hard to put into word losing a child because
Mm.
the words don't cover it. So I always try to talk about Devin as he is, as he was, um, more than we talk about losing him, because
Right.
losing him created a whole new world for us,
Yeah.
a world that um, he's missing out on, which isn't fair because he's such a great kid. He not only excelled in sports, but he wanted to be a teacher. So he started out thinking that his major was going to be digital arts, and he was really creative, and he had done a student teaching assignment for Central, and had that had always been in his mind, and he knew he wanted to do something with sports. And so he had talked about, I could coach kids, I could teach kids how to do what I'm doing, and to have the mindset and to be that positive influence. And so about actually he struggled with declaring a major, but he did declare it as digital arts. And then he kept talking about the kids, and how can I, make an impact on kids and show them that they can do whatever. Because Devin was not a big guy. He was not tall. He was not bulky. He was very muscular and lean. But when he was on the basketball court, he was almost always the smallest or one of the smallest. When he lined up for the hurdles, he was never, ever the top of the height list.
Wow.
But his technique, he flowed over the hurdles, and he was so fast and determined. He was like, you don't have to be this stereotypical look for an athlete who plays basketball, or an athlete who runs hurdles, or so I think that really was a driving force for him, and wanting to be able to show others um that they could do it too. So after we lost Devon, it was really like, how do we continue that?
Yeah.
And knowing that sports were a huge part of his life, and knowing that as a mother, I didn't want his name not to be spoken. I want his name to be said out loud
Yeah.
for the entirety of my life and the lives of others. And how that came to be was, he would be so proud of saying, I've helped these kids
Yeah.
get track shoes, pay for cheerleading fees, pay for dance fees, get basketball shoes. I did that. I can hear his voice um when we do this.
Which brings us to how the proceeds are being used. Explain that a little bit more.
Absolutely. So the track meet, all of is our annual fundraising event, and all of those proceeds go to Devon's Locker, which is a nonprofit that I started in his name that is run through Ambassadors for Children. Ambassadors for Children is at Crosslines Community Outreach. They just had a new name
Yeah,
change,
I saw
but
that.
everyone recognizes Crosslines.
Right.
It used to be the overarching name used to be Council of
Yeah.
Churches. So Crosslines is the new name, and Ambassadors for Children is a program through them that supports children in the foster care system. So they provide new clothing to children. They can come and shop in the kids' boutique. They have a prom closet that's available to any child. They don't have to be in the foster care system. They provide support for caseworkers who are looking for things like car seats or mattresses. We've provided kids with violins, things to help them, those expenses that we don't always think about, and that families that are supporting those kids in foster care may not have the resources for.
Right.
So I've been working with them for about 10 years. Most of what I've done with them was in their Christmas giving program. And Amanda Engel is their program director, and she and I have become great friends. And we had lunch shortly after Devon's accident, and I was just talking, and I was like, I need to do something. His name needs to be out there. It needs to be big and bold, and people need to hear it. And so Devon's Locker came to fruition sitting under Ambassadors for Children. So because Devon was so active in sports, and they were so important to him, and we know that there are barriers for kids to play sports.
Yeah.
Some of those are in when you say it, it sounds so simple. They don't have shoes, right? Or the right shoes, or they don't have the $50 fee to register, or they don't have the equipment that they need to perform. And it's really kind of a void in our community. We don't have programs that help with those things. And so partnering that with Devon was just a natural. We
Good.
knew that we had this great idea, and putting it with Ambassadors for Children was really just the best fit. So we started at the end, gathering funds at the end of 2023. And since then, we have helped the girls basketball team at Pipkin Middle School. We bought their basketball shoes and socks. We've provided volleyball equipment for students at Jarrett. We've paid cheerleading fees and VICAT fees for kids at Parkview. We've provided football shoes for kids at Nixa. and we go beyond the schools. So if there's a program out there, um, we'll help with that. We paid dance fees for some kids in the community. I'm looking forward to hopefully paying some swimming lesson fees, some, summer flag football or soccer, anything that has to do with sports and sports related. We want to be able to help ensure that kids are able to do those things.
If there is a kid out there that is needing the resources, how do they approach you or get involved or submit?
So there's a couple ways. So because we are run through ambassadors, the ambassadors is on the Crosslines website. So their information is out there. You can reach out to us through that avenue. The email is just AFC Ambassadors for Children at ccozarks.org. Also, I want to encourage people, go to our event page on Facebook. So the second annual DK Memorial Track Meet, there's an event page and you can message me directly from there. We are working on a link to a form that's going to go on ambassadors page. We haven't got that up and running yet. Most of what we've done are people that have reached out to us just organically. Obviously, we have connections in the foster care community because of ambassadors, but I've had some people reach out and say, I've got a neighbor who, who I know could use some help. She's a single mom and has this phenomenal child who wants to do this but isn't able. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. So well, most of what we've done has been just through word of mouth and organically, but you can reach out via email, afc@ccozarks.org, or go to that event page and you can message me directly from there.
Sounds great. Is there a deadline to sign up and register for the meet, or can they do it in person day of?
We encourage people to sign up now. We do have a link directly online. We've also got some flyers around town that have the QR code. Um, because we are separating people based on, are they going to run in the non-competitive or the competitive heat, and then if they are running in the competitive heat, we're working with Heartland Racing, and they're seating them based on their times. So we are encouraging people to sign up as soon as possible. The June 5th is that Thursday. The meet is on Saturday. So if at all possible, if you can sign up before then. But if you are like, oh my gosh, I forgot to sign up and I really want to go, please come. We can put you in. We can get you in any of the races that you want to race on that day. We It's going to be an event. We've got 3 food trucks coming.
Right.
We've got churros, the churros truck, which was Devron's absolute favorite sweet treat.
Oh,
And then tropical snow, which is shaved ice, which
mhm.
was Devron and his grandma's go to every summer. They
Oh.
spent more time at the shaved ice truck than probably anywhere else. And then we've got Layla's tacos. So we've got every option for you that you would need for dinner that evening, for some snacks. Maybe you want to take some yummy things home with you. So we're set up for a great evening.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing. Any other things we missed? I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all. We do have um those 3 fun runs. We've got the inflatable race, we've got the toddler race, so that's for kids 5 and under. We've got the donut race, but then we are doing the 100 or 110 hurdles. That's our one hurdles event. And then we're doing the 100, the 200. We've got the 400 or the 800 and the 1600. And then we've got a couple relays, and you can pick and choose who you want in your relays. If you want to run with your best friend and your grandma and your cousin, bring them. Um, it's not, it's a mixed relay, so it doesn't have to be all girls or all boys. We want everyone to participate and come and have a good time and really celebrate Devon.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Anita King with the DK Memorial Run. Find out more at all the links she mentioned and come back next time because we'll talk about the third annual when that's ready.
Absolutely.
All right, take care. You can learn more by watching or listening, linking over from runitstudios.com. Thank you.